It's kind of funny that I've done so many videos about OpenAI when I don't really use their models anymore. Like ChatGPT is cool and O1 is better than I expected, but honestly, I'm just using Claude. I have been so impressed with the quality of the responses I get from it, especially for code stuff. And it just got way better, like way better. So we have to dive into this. I'm super excited. Not only is Claude way better for code than it was before, now it can actually run a computer. Sounds insane. We have to go in deep on it. Introducing Computer Use, a new Claude 3.5 Sonnet, as well as a new Claude 3.5 Haiku. Well, it's not a new version, it's a new thing entirely. But Computer Use, that's the big headline one. But personally, more excited about 3.5 Sonnet. Today, we're announcing an upgraded Claude Sonnet and a new model, the Haiku model. The upgraded Claude Sonnet delivers across-the-board improvements over its predecessor, with particularly significant gains in coding, an area where it already led the field. Putting it lightly, it's kind of annoying looking at the difference in code versus like GPT-4 and Claude. O1 is closer, but it's so much slower. And if you use something like Cursor, which I was just doing a bunch of random work in a minute ago, you'll see in the Cursor settings that the top model, the one it goes to first, is this latest Claude Sonnet model. They actually updated 2024-1022, so it's using the newest model, as well as Opus, but Sonnet is the first one in the list, and it does rely on that one quite a bit. All of these are options, but it's defaulting to this, and it makes your autocomplete and the like common thing for me, which is Command A and do a thing, makes that work really well, and it defaults Claude Sonnet. Actually, I'm going to change that. Now it's going to default the latest model. Yay. If I recall, 3.5 Sonnet should default point to the newest version. You have to specify the old hash otherwise, but just to be sure, I'm doing that. The Aider LLM leaderboards are a good way to see how good given LLMs are at actually making edits to code, not just writing code to solve problems. And they benchmark the new model, and the results were kind of nuts. It tops the leaderboards. It beats out Preview, which is nuts because it's not as slow as O1, but it's better than O1. Not even O1 Mini, O1 Preview. It outdoes, which is nuts because it's not doing that like 15 layers of checking itself over and over again. It's just a good model. But where it gets crazier is the more demanding refactoring benchmark. This is one where you're telling the model to change the way that code is being written on a big code base. O1 Preview is only at 75% accuracy for this test. Sonnet 1022 is at 92%. That's a huge, huge gap. Kind of nuts to see that level of growth in this. And they don't even push it in the blog post. It just like happens to be better. The clickbaity, super exciting new thing is Computer Use. We'll get there in a sec. Quick statement on Haiku. It matches the performance of Opus, which was their largest model before, on most evaluations for the same cost and similar speed to the previous Haiku. Haiku is the short one. It's called Haiku because it's like a short poem. Cool, exciting. I'll probably never use it. It's fast enough already with Sonnet. But that is cool that you can get that level of speed on something so much smaller. I wish they would just name them small, medium, large. Make life much easier. I like how Mistral names things. They're a lot less annoying. But the cool thing, the big new headlining, clickbaity, what you're probably here for bit, is Computer Use. Available today on the API, developers can direct Claude to use computers the way that people do, by looking at a screen, moving a cursor, clicking buttons, and typing text. They've got Prime beaten. He can't even move a mouse cursor. Joking. It is cool to see this. Weird because navigating a computer is a weird enough thing that having that not as like behaviors that you're training for your use case, but as a generic thing provided by the API is kind of nuts. Claude 3.5 Sonnet is the first frontier AI model to offer computer use in public beta. At this stage, it is still experimental, at times cumbersome and error-prone. We're releasing computer use early for feedback from developers and expect the capability to improve rapidly over time. I hate that this is lowercase and not indicated beyond the bold one time here. Just a weird thing to name it if you're not going to capitalize it or call it out. Regardless, a bunch of companies are using it already. Asana, Canva, Cognition, DoorDash, Replit, and the browser company. Wonder what they built. Wonder. Must be interesting software. They're all already beginning to explore the possibilities with the new model in computer use, carrying out tasks that require dozens and sometimes even hundreds of steps to complete. For example, Replit's using 3.5 Sonnet capabilities with computer use and UI navigation to develop a key feature that evaluates apps as they're being built from their Replit agent product. So Replit's like a code sandbox, stack blitz type thing. They're doing a ton of AI code building stuff right now. They're trying to make it so AI can build and test the whole app for you, but the app needs to be runnable and clickable for the AI to do that. Computer use allows them to do that.
So I'm Sam, and I'm one of the researchers here at Anthropic. Computer use is something that we felt was going to be important for a while now. And so today we're going to be talking about a very early version we have of computer use. And
what are you doing here, Pirate Software? Good to see you, Thor. Yeah, this is kind of a Theo clone. Yeah, I have to stop dyeing my hair blonde, don't I? Yeah, Theo just graduated, for real.
Today we're going to be talking about a very early version we have of computer use and walking through a representative example of the things we think it's going to be useful for.
I know I shouldn't be this picky about this. That was such a bad cut. And you know they did a cut. The reason they switched cameras there is they had a bad take there and they blended the two together and they didn't slip the audio properly. Why is it that all these AI companies have like the fanciest cameras that don't know how to video edit?
The early version we have of computer use and walking through a representative example of the things we think it's going to be useful for.
Physical pain.
We're going to be going through a quick demo today. In this fictional demo, a customer, in this case the Ant Equipment Company, has come to us and asked us to fill out a vendor request form. The data I need to fill out this form is scattered in various places on my computer. What we're going to do is ask Claude to look at the spreadsheet, check if Ant Equipment is in there, and if not, move over to the CRM and try and find some more information there.
You know, I've always been a little confused about the AI doomers and the path of how do we go from like AI autocompletes in our editors to AI nuking all of humanity. Suddenly that path got a lot clearer. As soon as we'll just blindly trust an AI to run our computers for us, every other part of the doom cycle makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, I suddenly understand how AI nukes everyone.
Once it has this data, Claude's going to then fill out the form for us and hopefully transfer the information across to the vendor form. The first thing that's going to happen is Claude's going to start taking screenshots of my screen and quickly realizes that the Ant Equipment Company isn't actually in the spreadsheet. So the first thing it does is it swaps over to a CRM and searches for the company we're interested in.
I can't keep watching this. The audio is just so bunk. I'm going to mute it and just blast through to see like what's it doing. So it tells you the steps it's doing. It's going to the page. It's doing the search. It's getting the results. Then it's doing other things. It is cool that it can control the whole computer. I don't know how they're doing that. Like, is it a fake USB device? Is it simulating a computer on the cloud? Like, it's not, I don't have any of the info I actually care about here. I am super curious about how that part is actually implemented. But yeah, they don't give me any of the info I actually need here. So let's go back to reading and hope they put it somewhere. I have a feeling they won't. Anyways, the thing I'm personally excited about is the Sonnet upgrades I mentioned before. The test results they're showing here are pretty cool. They got a 5% bump in the graduate level reasoning test. They got a 3% bump in the undergraduate level knowledge test. The code eval is, again, their code eval stuff is the best in the industry, and it is continuing to get better. The fact that they're beating 4.0, which is a much slower model, is stupid. It's stupid. I like the chat GPT and the OpenAI wave might finally be coming to an end. Like, there is no longer this massive gap where OpenAI is super far ahead. That is gone now. You know, the agentic coding had a huge bump, and agentic tool use also did. Very interesting. Here's their words about the software stuff. 305 Sonnet shows wide range improvements on industry benchmarks, with particularly strong gains in agentic coding and tool use tasks. On coding, it performs performance on the SWE bench verified from 33% to 49%, scoring higher than all publicly available models. If this was just the models that they were picking and just the tests they were picking, yeah, whatever. They stomped the ITER LLM test too, so it's real. Like, these numbers aren't just some bullshit. They actually undersold it a bit here compared to what I've been seeing from other sources. The best part is that it's the same price and speed as the old version. So it's not like they're going to charge more and it's going to be slower, like from 4 to 4.0 or 0.1 and all of the other things going on in that space. This is the same speed, same price, just better. Really cool. That's also why it's not 3.5 now to 4. It's still 3.5 because it's an inline improvement, but it's really good improvements. GitLab tested this for DevSecOps tasks, and they found it delivered stronger reasoning up to 10% stronger across use cases with no added latency, making it an ideal choice to power multi-step software development processes. Quick call out on this, the multi-step thing. This makes the failure rate much more important. It's basic probabilities. Let's say you're using an AI tool that has a 5% chance of being wrong. Let's say that tool does 5 steps. How likely is it that the result's going to be accurate? It's not 95% likely to be accurate. It's 95 to the power of 5% likely to be accurate. Because every single time you roll the dice, you have to multiply by that number again. So every additional step, your likelihood of a correct output goes down. So with 5, you're down to a 77% chance of success, even if the chance of success for any one task is 95%. And as we have these more complex multi-step things, these success rates plummet. Even with a 1% margin of error, you end up with crazy numbers when you do lots and lots of steps. So that's why it's exciting for them to make these improvements, because the closer they get to 100%, the lower these multi-step error rates get. And the only reason we can even have multi-step stuff is because these error rates are finally getting low enough for this to be reasonable. Cognition's using the new models for autonomous AI evaluations and experienced substantial improvements in coding, planning, and problem solving compared to the previous version. Is Cognition that company doing the Devin? Yeah. Didn't Cognition also come up in the OpenAI 01 announcement? Cognition is playing both sides so hard here, getting into the announcement both from OpenAI and Claude and telling both that they're using the new models from both, because they probably are just using all of the things. How about you ship some fucking software, Cognition? Seriously, it's funny to me that they're successfully sneaking themselves into everyone else's press. I don't know how they infected everyone's brains as hard as they did. Good for them. I'll take the bet. I do not think they're ever going to ship anything reasonable. I think they're just here to ride the wave. I could be wrong. It's weird seeing them pop up everywhere but not ship anything. Browser company, makers of Arc, the browser I'm using now, they're using the model for automating workflows on the web. Like to see what that looks like. I have almost all the AI features turned off right now in my browser. Could be cool in the future. Not my thing right now. They also call it that they're collaborating with safety organizations like the US AI Safety Institute and the UK Safety Institute as well. We evaluated the upgraded Claude Sonnet version for catastrophic risk and found that the ASL2 standard as outlined in a responsible scaling policy remains appropriate for the model. Cool. Nice having a whole section at the end here about safety. And then Haiku. It's their next generation of their fastest model. For the same cost and similar speed to Claude 3 Haiku, 3.5 improves across every skill set and surpasses even Opus, the largest model in their previous generation, on many intelligence benchmarks. Haiku is particularly strong on coding tasks. Got a 40.6 on the SWE bench model, which is better than the original 3.5 Sonnet. Pretty nuts, because 3.5 Sonnet previously was very good. The fact that their cheap, fast model beats it is kind of nuts. Yep. Since it's low latency and better at following instructions and also very cheap, makes a lot of sense to expose that part to users, like when they're typing, having autocomplete, those types of things. It's cheap and fast. It fits that well. Haiku will be made available later this month across our first-party API, Amazon Bedrock, as well as Google Cloud's Vertex AI, initially as a text-only model and with image input to follow. Fun. Here's the section about using a computer. I want to understand this, so let's read this one deep. I like the responsibly call out, because this is the tech that could be used to nuke us. This is the first time one of the big AI companies built something that could actually destroy the world with like one bad config, and it's kind of funny. Like imagine this running on like the president's computer. Oh God. With computer use, we're trying something fundamentally new. Instead of making specific tools to help Claude complete individual tasks, we're teaching it general computer skills, allowing it to use a wide range of standard tools and software programs designed for people. Developers can use the nascent capabilities to automate repetitive tasks, build and test software, and conduct open-ended tasks like research. To make these general skills possible, we built an API that allows Claude to perceive and interact with computer interfaces. Developers can integrate this API to enable Claude to translate instructions like use data from my computer and online to fill out this form into computer commands like check a spreadsheet, move the cursor to open a web browser, navigate to the relevant web pages, fill out a form with the data from those pages as well. This is compelling. It's the thing that Rabbit was trying to do with their action model, or whatever they called it, but a real company's doing it now, so it'll actually probably work. Apparently, they scored a 14.9% on the OS World AI model computer test that uses screenshots to ask the model what would it do. The next best was 7.8 though. Yeah, they almost doubled the percent score. These are both still really low numbers, because if it's 14.9% success rate, that's not usable yet, but it's cool it's even that far. Given more steps to complete the task, it does a little better. Still not good, but it works. That's progress. They expect it to improve rapidly, but it's currently imperfect. There are actions that we perform effortlessly, like scrolling, dragging, and zooming, that Claude just cannot do. They call it here that they encourage devs to begin exploration of this with low-risk tasks. So use this to command nuclear weapons, right? Because I hate this. Because they don't capitalize it or bold it or anything, it makes this fucking unreadable. Ugh. Because computer use may provide a new vector for more familiar threats such as spam, misinformation, and fraud, we're taking a proactive approach to promote its safe deployment. We've developed new classifiers that can identify when computer use is being used and whether harm is occurring. You can read more about the research process behind this new skill, along with further discussion of safety measures in our post on developing computer use. Oh, I just realized something. I hope y'all are familiar with the state of like phone scams. Who's the big phone scam YouTuber? Kitboga. Thank you guys. All I can think of when I think about this is Kitboga. Phenomenal YouTuber. He's a scam baiter is the term. So he collects all the crappy viruses that exist on the web that present phone numbers on your computer to tell you have to call this number to get your computer fixed by Microsoft, and it's not actually Microsoft. He does a lot of that type of content, wasting the time of these scammers, getting them to do all sorts of stupid shit. Both sides of this could be automated with what has been built here. If you use like AI text to voice to automate the process of getting on the phone with an old person and convincing them that their computer has a virus and they have to pay a bunch of money, and then use the new computer use feature to actually do the remoting in and do the things on their computer remotely, you could make the first 100% automated scammer. But you could do the other side too, where you could take what Kitboga does to waste the time of these scammers by building an AI version of what he does. Make an AI fake old person that is generating a fake environment and a fake computer and wasting the time of these people. It could be very funny to build an AI scammer and also an AI scam baiter and then pit them against each other and see what happens. There's going to be a whole world where AI is being used to waste the time of scammers as well as to do the scams. And it's going to be a race to the bottom. Apparently, Kitboga's already started doing this. I made an AI bot to steal from scammers and it's working. Oh, that was 2 years ago. That's going to be way better with the things that just dropped. Oh boy. I'm saving this for later for sure. Yeah, dead internet theory, but for scammers. Yep, exactly. Back to the post. We've developed new classifiers that can identify when computer use is being used and whether harm is occurring. You can read more about the research process behind this new skill, along with further discussion of safety measures in our post on developing computer use. The jailbreaks for this are going to be wild. Oh boy. They just call out that getting this out now will help them better understand the potential and implications of increasing capable AI systems. Excited for you to explore the new models and the public beta of computer use. Share your feedback. Go nuts. Cool. Computer use is scary. It is far, far, far too early to care. But I'm really excited about the AI autocomplete stuff getting better. I just want code to be easier to write, and Claude has helped me a lot with that. Honestly, do you know who the biggest winner is with this? Cloudflare, because their doc sucking no longer keeps me from deploying on them. Seriously, though. I got nothing else here. Until next time, peace, nerds. Cool.